Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today, I will be taking you through a full body reformer flow. A couple things that you're gonna need today is your box and then a ball, right? I'm gonna be using it as a headrest and then maybe for some inner thigh work later on. The spring setting we'll be starting with is a heavy, medium, and 2 lights. Now that could be 2 mediums and a heavy, right? It could be 3 mediums and a light, you know, depending on your spring setting. So what I have for my balanced body is a red, blue, and a green, and a yellow, right? Because I have those 2 light and lighter springs. So you don't need any props to start. We're gonna start off with some simple, quick footwork, and then we're gonna move on. So I just wanna flow today. We'll be moving the spine in every direction. So I'm hoping for myself and for you to just feel longer and more open after today's session. So once you have all your props, go ahead and meet me lying down for some footwork. So before we get to moving, just make sure that you're centered on your carriage, right? Maybe turn your head from right to left, run your hands up and along the mat here. All right, so let's go all 10 toes on, heels together, toes apart. Arms are long and weighted into the mat. So if you could, maybe, could you get your upper arm bones into the mat, right? It is a struggle bus for me. My ribs wanna pop, but I want you to find that happy medium between arms connecting to the mat, but also feeling the base of the ribs into the mat and then your tailbone. Like right away, I am working. I am fighting for my life right now. All right, every toe pad is connected. My heels are pressing together and my knees are only bent to that shoulder width distance apart. I want you to take a big expansive breath in here. Think of breathing into those back ribs. And then as you exhale, just let the ribs soften, but maybe the collarbones could open a little bit more. And now take another big expansive breath in here. Think of getting longer out through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, let that tailbone sink heavier into the mat. And now on this next inhale, I want you to press the carriage all the way out and then exhale, pull yourself in. Inhale takes you out and then exhale pulls you in. So footwork is your opportunity to set yourself up for the rest of class. So ask yourself, is every toe still connected throughout this movement? Like for me, my left big toe wants to lift up all the time. And are your heels staying connected the whole time? If you have to be in parallel and not Pilates V, I totally get it. But just think of the heels staying still in space, no matter what position you have. Let's do 2. Exhale, drag it in. Last one. Get longer and drag it in. All right, let's come on to the arches, hip socket distance apart. I want you to pull down on the foot bar and drive your heels down and under. Now, the further under your heels go, right, the more the toes maybe want to pull back, but they're still reaching up and over as well. Inhale takes you out. Exhale, pull down on that foot bar to bring you home. Inhale takes you out. Exhale, pull down on the foot bar to bring you home. Now, some of you might notice that when you pull down, the hips might want to lift up. Totally normal. And those are the muscles I really want you tapping into, but we're keeping our booty down for footwork. Inhale takes you out. Exhale pulls you home. All right, we open up the front of the body on the out and then pull home. Legs should look like a number 11. Right? Or at the very least, they're staying parallel. Inhale takes you out. Hi, boo-boo. Exhale pulls you home. He's just getting more and more aggressive with this lately. Hi, baby. All right, bring the carriage all the way home. Let's come up onto the heels. All right, so right away, we're gonna go right into this. I want you to curl the toes like you're holding onto a pencil, and now pull the tops of your feet back to your shins, okay? So there is energy going right through the center of your heels right now. Press the carriage out and pause here. Can you pull the tops of the feet back more, but still keep the toes curled? And then drag the carriage back in. Inhale takes you out, pull the tops of the feet back to the shins, and then pull yourself home. Your arms are still engaged. The sides of your neck are still long here. Ooh, there's a lot of work happening right now. And it's the entire top of the foot pulling back. A lot of times, and you might have to just look up and see, that pinky side, that lateral side of your foot really doesn't want to lift up or pull back to your shin, right? Focus on that side. Still while keeping your legs parallel. Oh, the burn is insane right now. 2 more. You got this. Keep curling the toes. Last one. Holy cannoli. And then resist back in. Oh, let the toes fall. Shake them out. Let's come back to that first position. All 10 toes are on. Heels together, toes apart. Go ahead and press the carriage out. Now, I want you to truly try to resist that carriage from moving. Okay, so start to lower the thighs down first, just like 1 little inch. And stabilize. And then go down another little inch. And then another little inch. So feel that this length is really coming from your waistline, and then eventually the carriage will have to move as your heels lower under. And now lift the heels up. Here's another opportunity to get longer in the waist, the legs lower down, heels lower under. Make sure that you're not fighting that movement of the carriage with your shoulders. I find myself doing it all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting longer, but I'm just shrugging my shoulders into my ears. And lift. Good, as the heels go under, the toes going up and over. So there's that pencil holding position once again. And lift. Last one here, we lower and lift. And go ahead and drag the carriage all the way home. My feet are at the party officially. All right, let's go heels on, maybe like shoulder width distance apart. Make sure that your headrest is all the way down. But are you gonna stay on me for this? All right, so let's start with articulation. If you need to, right, you stay with your hinge bridge. Anchor down through the arms, equal weight into right and left foot. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, I want you to roll your hips up. Find the top of your bridge today. Feel free to start small. Think of your knees reaching up and over the foot bar. Your pubic bone is higher than your 2 hip points. And now keep your hips lifted for as long as you can. And now soften down through the sternum, the ribs, the low back, all the way down. Good, let's do that again. Go ahead and roll the hips up. Think knees up and over the toes. Arms are long, but also heavy into the mat. And now booty stays high for as long as you can. And now melt down, melt down, melt down. Again, roll the hips under, lift up. Even though the legs are apart, you're still finding inner thighs here. So the knees aren't just going all willy-nilly all over the place. And then melt, melt, melt. All right. So now I want you to bring the legs to hip socket distance apart. Let's go toes on. All 10 toes are on. All right. So now we're going to do a hinge bridge. So the back stays relatively flat. And now drive the hips up, up, up. And then lower the hips back down. Tailbone taps the mat and then go right back up. So as you're going up and down here, how stable can you keep the carriage? And also how stable can you keep the heels? I notice that when my hips lower, my heels immediately want to drop. So I have to think of them lifting as my hips lower, just as a counteraction cue. Now for these last few, if you want to take the arms up to the ceiling, take away a base of support, that is up to you. We have 4. Hang in there. Find that deep work here. Don't just rush through it. And 3. Big toes stay connected. And 2. Neck is long. Last one. And then lower all the way down. All right. Let's now go ahead and roll you up. Let's switch to 2 medium springs. So for me, I have 2 reds, 2 medium springs. Go ahead and lie back down. Headrest can come back up if you prefer it up. Reach back for your, let's go long loops. You need more tension, you can choke up and grab the short loops. I'm gonna bring my legs up into tabletop. Zip the legs up together. Shins are parallel to the floor. Wrap the fists around, find the broad collarbone, and then lower the arms all the way down and into the mat. Can you here connect the entire back of the arm to the mat without the ribs flaring. And then float the arms all the way back up. Again, arms come down and then back up. So the space that you create between shoulders and ears when the arms come down, try to keep it as the arms come back up. For 2. And last one. Now, hold the arms down. If it's available, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Your tailbone is still heavy. Pull your right knee into your chest as your left leg shoots out long. And then switch. And switch. So even if your back is into the mat, whether you have a natural arch in the small of your back, I just want you to focus on keeping the spine and pelvis stable wherever you're at today. And you know the deal, those inner thighs are hugging your midline, so let them graze as they pass. For 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the knees back into your chest. Float the arms all the way back up. Again, arms come down. Can you go both legs out to a working angle? Hold. 2, 3, and then knees come back in, arms come back up. Again, reach. Feel like both the arms and legs are in straps right now. Push into the straps and then bend everything back in. Again, reach, 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 and then resist back in. Last one here. Reach and hold. Reach and hold. Hold, hold, and then bend everything back in. Now I want you to take your hands and clasp them together. So the straps are in between my palms right now. All right, legs come back up in a tabletop, but now it's more of like a diamond position. So my heels are together, my knees are apart. All right, so do whatever you'd like with those thumbs. I'm over here kind of fidgeting around with them. I want you to find spring tension, hold here. All right, so right now my hands are just above my chest. I'm gonna try to keep my arms relatively straight, and I'm gonna pull the arms down towards my center line and then float the arms back up. All right, again, both arms pulled down to my center line and then back up. Now let's add the chest lift. Exhale, reach between the legs and then lower back down. All right, again, reach between the legs, reach, 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 and then back up. Now we're gonna add the legs, right? So as you curl up, let that tailbone roll up off the mat a little bit. And then as you come down, let the toes kind of go up and over the foot bar down to the well. Exhale, curl up, knees in towards the shoulders, and then back out. Toes go up and over. We kind of hinge at the hip. Exhale. And back out. Press those heels together. Make sure you're not in your neck. Remember, you can always keep your head down. Draw down through the base of the ribs as you come up. 2 more here. Exhale, curl, and down. Last one. Exhale, curl, and down. Awesome. Let's go ahead and hang up your straps. Straighten your legs out over the foot bar. Legs are zipped up, and they're also pressing down into the blocks. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Big breath in on your exhale. You're gonna roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Get a good stretch here at the top. All right, so we're gonna change it to a light spring. I'm gonna put a blue spring on. I'm gonna set up my box to the side of my carriage. If you have a reformer that's super close to the floor, you probably could do this without the box. In fact, the box would probably hinder you. So, box goes up against the reformer here. 1 blue spring. Little bit of lunging. We won't be here long, I promise, all right? All right, so I'm gonna step up onto my box. My right foot is onto the box, so obviously I have my box to the right side of my reformer right now. My left foot is gonna go up against the shoulder block, okay? My foot is not completely flush up against the shoulder block. It might need to later, but let's just start here and you adjust as you need, okay? So my right leg is hugging the inside of the carriage. My body is square to the wall in front of me. And as I press the carriage back through my back leg, my front knee is going to bend, and I'm just gonna hold here in my lunge, okay? Let's just check some boxes. Your front knee, I want it over the center of your foot, right? It's not behind the heel, it's not over the heel. It's over the center of your foot. Now, think of your right hip spiraling back and your left hip spiraling forward. So it's a little bit of like a counteraction cue, because a lot of times we want to twist, right? And then from here, it's your front leg that pulls you home, right? We bend into that front knee, carriage goes back, and then pull it home. You can do whatever you'd like with the arms, whatever makes you feel safe, strong. And if it starts to get into your low back, right, you can hinge forward, right? No worries. Keep working the hug of the inner thighs in. Let's just do 2. Told you we won't be here long. Last one. And then come all the way in. You know what, I lied. Go back out again. Just go back out again and hold here. I want you to hinge your body forward a little bit. All right. If it's okay, take your hands onto the foot bar, round your spine. Okay. Let that right hip drop down a little bit more, and now pull the carriage in and press it back out. Buddha is watching these springs. He's so amazed. It's a little mountain climber action here. Don't let that knee slide back behind your heel. I just caught mine doing it. Let's do 3 and 2. Think ribs lifting off that thigh. Last one. And then pull the carriage in and stand all the way up. All right. So now I'm going to pivot away from my reformer. Okay. So toes are facing forward here. All right. This one's a little bit funky, but it's going to be a nice stretch. I'm going to take my left hand onto the foot bar. I'm going to take my left foot now, place it up against the shoulder block. Okay. So just go ahead and press the carriage out, okay? So my bottom leg, my left leg is straight, my right knee is bent. It's kind of like a play on a curtsy lunge, right? And then I'm gonna think of my hips staying low. As I pull the carriage in, I'm not gonna come all the way into the stopper, okay? I'm gonna press the carriage out, really push out through the heel, push down through this foot as well, and then drag the carriage in, all right? You press out, we lunge down, feel a stretch down the left side, and then pull the carriage in. All right, again. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a stretch on my right hip as well. And then pull back in. Again, a couple more times here. And then resist back in. It's a tiny movement. We press out, and again, think of that hip kind of dragging low to really inch out that extra stretch. Bring the carriage all the way in. All right. Now, getting out of that is tough though. All right, now we're gonna take our box and put it on short ways. So short box on, you're gonna adjust your spring to 1 medium spring. So for me, I have a red. I'm taking my blue or my light spring off. I want you to come seated facing your foot bar. I want you to bring the soles of your feet together and pull your heels into the box here, right? So in this kind of prayer position, I want you to place your hands on your knees or the inside of your thighs, right? Keep your pinky toes and your big toes together, all right? I want you to now push your inner thighs up and into your hands. See where you can go, still keeping your pinky toes together, okay? So I'm pushing down with my hands, I'm pushing up with my inner thighs, and now I'm gonna take the hands away. That's where I want you to keep your legs. Reach back, find your long loops, adjust if you need, all right? So legs stay at the party, y'all. Pull your heels into the box. My palms are facing up, my elbows are bent. I'm gonna reach out through those arms, kind of at shoulder height, maybe eyeball height, and then bend the elbows back in. I can't quite tell. So as we go out and in with these arms, I want you to really work the lift up out of the crown of the head and the rooting down equally through your sitting bones. Inhale as you bend. Exhale, reach the arms out. Think sternum pulling away from the fingertips, and then bend back in. Again, reach out and then back in. All right, now let's add some spinal movement. So as you reach the arms out, pull back through the ribs, curl the tailbone under, and then as the elbows bend back in, we stack our spine up, find a little baby extension here, puff up the chest, and then exhale, arms reach out, pull back through the belly, back through the ribs, and then bend the elbows, little baby extension. So we're going from protraction to retraction with those shoulder blades. Shoulder blades hug the spine in extension, and then shoulder blades pull away from the spine as the arms reach forward. Anybody feeling those shoulders? We have 2. That's it. How about those legs? Are they still active? Last one. Reach the arms forward. Keep the arms reaching forward, y'all. Stack your spine up tall. Find that broad collarbone. Shoulders are not in your ears. Make fists with your hands. Draw little circles. Little circles. Carriage barely moves. In fact, pitch forward a little bit more, y'all. For 3, 2, 1, hold. Reverse your circles. Keep pushing up into your hands as if they were on your thighs. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Bends the elbows back in. Awesome work. Go ahead and hang up the straps. All right, we're gonna stay on this same spring. We're now gonna come kneeling on your box. On your carriage. Toes are tucked under, like you're gonna do a plank, because we're gonna do a plank. Forearms, fists onto the box like a number 11. Drive your fists into the box, all right? Knees and shins are about that hip socket distance apart, parallel, okay? Gaze is maybe just in front of your headrest. I want you to feel like your sternum, your chest, your upper abdominals are lifting up away from the box and the floor. And now hover the knees, press the carriage out with control and hold here. My heels are driving back to the wall behind me, so they are flexed. I'm pushing down through the big balls of my feet. And now from here, could you get more weight into your fists than your elbows? Just imagine it happening, as small as it is. And now keep the weight in your fists, slide the box forward, and then pull the box back. Slide the box forward and pull it back. Don't let those ankles move. I just caught mine wanting to lift up. For 3, and 2, and last one, pull the box under, bend the knees, bring the carriage home. All right, so now the upper body is gonna stay still, our lower half is gonna move, okay? So weight into your fists, lift the sternum up, press the carriage out with control, all right? So shoulders stay right over your elbows. I'm gonna point out through the toes, and then I'm gonna flex the feet. Point out through the toes and flex the feet. My tailbone is long, and my pubic bone feels like it's curling up to my navel. How stable can you keep your upper body right now, y'all? For 3, and 2, and last one, we flex the feet, we bend the knees, come all the way home. Awesome work. So let's now change this box to a long box. Don't worry, I have not forgotten about that other side. Long box, just doing a little around the world today. Long box, go back to that light spring. So for me, I have the blue spring on. Again, remember, you can always adjust your springs. I'm gonna come lying down on my stomach. Careful, it's a light spring. Carriage rolls all around. My chest is kind of hanging off the box here, all right? So like my last rib is touching the box. I'm gonna reach my arms forward. Thumbs are wrapping around to the inside of the box here. You know what? Let's try to have the legs zipped up today, okay? So they're parallel, knees looking down to the floor. Imagine you've got a second box behind you. Could you hover your legs just a smidge off that second box, okay? Keep the energy into your legs, your pubic bone driving down. And now, with straight arms, can you pull the carriage into the back end of the reformer, lift the chest up, find your armpit muscles, and then just lengthen back down. All right, again, we pull down or through, we lift up, let the ribs come with you, and then lower back down. And I realize I didn't even cue or lifting up into extension, right? So we pull the carriage forward, broaden the collarbone at the top, and then lower back down. Let those ribs come with you, y'all. Lift up, roll the chest open at the top, and then lower back down. One more time like this. Low back is cranky, right? You open up the legs, no worries. Push down through the pelvis, and then come all the way down. All right, we're only gonna do 3 on each side now. Make them count. Take the hands over to the right, okay? So I'm gonna think of my body still, my lower half still staying square. My left leg, I'm thinking of it getting longer, right? I'm gonna pull the carriage forward, lift up into this kind of side bendy extension, and then lengthen back down. Remember, as you lift up, left leg gets longer. And back down. It's also like a little crunch on that right side. Lift up, and then lengthen back down. Over to the other side. Remember, 3, make it count, y'all. Lift up, still working a broad collarbone at the top, and then lengthen back down. Your right hip is still into the box. Lift up, right leg longer, and then back down. Last one here. Lift up, reach the heart forward, and then come all the way down. Awesome work, y'all. Let's go ahead and step off to the side. We're gonna stay on that same spring. Take your box down or completely away if you don't need it. It goes up against the frame here. Foot bar comes back up, just in case we need it. All right, so left leg, hugging the side of the carriage. My right foot is up against the shoulder block here, okay? So toes are pointing forward here. My body, my hips are square. I'm gonna now press the carriage back, go into that lunge. Let's check some boxes, y'all. Left knee over the center of the foot. Right hip a little bit forward, left hip a little bit back, and then bring the carriage in. Press it back, and then pull it in. Something I didn't say on the other side, as you're bringing the carriage in, think of that back heel digging down the shoulder block. For me, when I do that, I feel my seat, but I also feel like this lift coming up the front of my right thigh when I do that. And I also feel more stable as opposed to like a wobbly ankle back there. It's so tempting to want to push that front knee back behind the knee. Keep catching myself here. Again, do whatever you'd like with those arms. Every side is different. Let's do 3. Last one. Now, press the carriage back, all right? Hands come onto the foot bar. If you like, they can always go on your thigh, all right? So I'm gonna round into my spine, tuck my pelvis under, try to lift my belly and my ribs off that thigh, okay? I'm gonna scooter the carriage in and then press it back. Carriage in and back. Now the heel might not be on that shoulder block, that's fine. You can always shimmy it back to connect the foot like we do for knee stretches. Neck is long, holding stability in that left leg. All right, we've got 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the carriage in, stand all the way up. All righty. Now we turn and face away from our carriage. Okay, my right hand is go onto the foot bar. My right leg threads under. Okay, every side is different here. Just go ahead and press the carriage out. I find like standing all the way up is like weird and awkward and challenging. So I'm thinking of my right heel really digging down into the carriage. My left inner thigh drawing in towards the foot bar. And now pull the carriage in. My upper body just naturally leans forward a little bit, and then I kind of come more upright as I press the carriage out. Because it's a very small movement. I think we really want this to be like a big lunge like we just did, but it's not. And the stretch on my left hip is just so nice. and then pull it back in. I go under. Remember, think of trying to drag that right hip low as you bring the carriage in. This is one of these where it's like the first time I did it, I thought, wow, this is really awkward. This is really awkward. And then I started to feel the burn in my left hip. It's stretching, but ooh, you start to feel it. So let's do 2 more here. Tripod connection through that left foot. And then back in. Oh, but that stretch is so nice. 1 more. And then pull it back in. Come all the way up to standing. Bring the carriage all the way in and step the foot down. Ooh, shake it out, shake it out. All right, you are done with the box. Chuck it off to the side, or place it off to the side rather. All right, and then let's come to 2 medium springs. Grab your ball. 2 medium springs for me, 2 red springs. Ball in your headrest, okay? Mine's a little small. I'm gonna put my headrest up 1. I'm gonna lie down on my side. Ball is now a comfy headrest, okay? My bottom knee is tucked under. I'm gonna try to get my hips and my shoulders stacked as best I can. All right, so if in order to get that front heel down, that top heel down on the foot bar, toes have to be hanging off, or toes can be hanging off is what I meant to say. All right, so my top knee is facing you. It is parallel, right? I'm gonna press the carriage out. I'm gonna hold here. I'm gonna think of the back of my top thigh going behind me, but my top hip coming forward a little bit, right? And now bends the knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it right back out. I find what happens a lot of times, or a lot of people, the hip wants to roll back a lot, right? So sometimes I'm like hip rolling forward, which really just stacks my hips. Bottom leg is along for the ride, right? Each time you press the carriage out, maybe your waistline could get a little bit longer to create that mouse house. Last one here, press the carriage out and hold, right? Keep working this kind of like opening of the springs here by pushing the foot into the foot bar. And now I want you to take your bottom foot, reach it back behind you, top hand, reach around and hold on to that ankle or that foot. Push that foot into your hand to really open up that thigh. Hips are still forward. Now, the top heel, lift it and lower it. Lift it and lower it. Try to relax the neck as much as you can and keep working that top hip forward, but thigh kind of going back sensation, if it makes any sense at all. Right? We have 3 and 2. And last one, now keep the heel lifted, not crazy high, somewhere in between, okay? We're gonna work that ankle stability. Hold that ankle stability, bend the knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it right back out. We only have 5 of these. Press it out, you're still holding onto that back foot. And out, 2 more. Knee stays forward. And last one, awesome, bring it all the way in. All right, so now bottom leg threads under, okay? My top foot, it comes in front of me. I'm gonna hold on to this ankle or this foot, okay? However you wish, right? I'm gonna think of my top knee going towards the foot bar and my booty sticking out behind me, right? Should feel like a nice stretch. My bottom leg is razor straight, okay? I want you to lift the leg up and then lower it down. Some of you lovely people out there could lift the leg up and touch the foot bar. I am not one of those people, right? But I'm thinking about it. So I want you to think about it too, right? Could you lift it up and touch the foot bar? Maybe. I feel like mine's not even close. So keep the leg razor straight here. Good, last one. Good. Now hold the leg hovering for me a little bit. And now I want you to find external rotation. So heel is kind of looking up to the ceiling, toes are kind of looking down. So I want you to lift the leg up now and then down. Lift the leg up and down. The more you channel your upper thigh bone here, the better. Sometimes, right, if we're not lifting from there, it goes into the calf, the foot, the ankle, the knee. No bueno. We have 2 and 1. Now hold here. Find internal rotation as best you can. Toes looking up to the ceiling now. And now lift and lower. Lift and lower. Still trying to work into that mouse house. Booty sticking back behind you. My inner thigh is on fire right now. Let's do 3 and 2 and last one. Lower the leg down. Holy cannoli. Let's flip over and do the other side, shall we? Try to get yourself as stacked as you possibly can. Bottom knees tucked under, top toes facing forward, heel on. All right, we press the carriage out. Let's check ourselves here for a moment. I didn't do it on the other side and I apologize. I want you to really work the length of your top leg, and so feel how that kind of lengthens your waist, but also lightens the ribs on the mat. And now bend the knee, bring the carriage home, and then press it out. So right now, the spring, your leg is challenging your waist and saying, hey, how stable can you hold right now? Can you keep the lightness of your ribs into the mat as I go in and out? Do whatever you like with that top hand. Sometimes the hand on the hip is helpful. Sometimes having it into the mat. You pick. And remember, when that leg goes straight, you're thinking hip forward, thigh going back almost. So like a chasing that hip extension at the top. All right, now go and press the carriage out, hold here. You're gonna reach around, try to grab on to your toes, your sock, whatever you can here. And now we lift the heel and lower the heel. Here comes Buddha. He's like, oh, look, you're lying down, there's space for me. Hi, baby, that's my microphone. Love you. Ooh, this side is definitely harder because I feel like we work those inner thighs big time. Keep trying to roll that top hip forward, y'all. Push that back foot into your hand for 3 and 2 and 1. How are you even here right now? Keep your heel lifted, but not crazy high. Bend the top knee, bring the carriage home. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm recording. Husband, come look at me real quick. Look at this. How is this even a thing? Everybody watching, you guys are just keep moving. He's a mountain goat. He's transformed into a mountain goat. Oh my gosh. Heel is steady, y'all. Kneecap is forward. Are you serious right now? For 2 and 1. Come all the way in. All right, we let go of that bottom leg. It straightens out underneath the foot bar. The top foot, it comes forward. Press it down. Knee goes towards the foot bar. Booty sticks out. Try to keep that mouse house. Bottom leg is parallel. And now lift the leg up and down. Lift the leg up and down. All right, you're trying to lift it up to the foot bar. Up to the foot bar. Strong, strong, stable ankle here. So the foot's not sickling, it's not rolling in. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. For 3, remember, channel your upper thigh bone. 2 and 1. Now hold the leg hovering, find external rotation. Heels looking up to the ceiling, toes are looking down. We lift and we lower. Leg gets longer as you lift and lower. Hips are stable, booty is sticking out. And your neck and your shoulders are relatively relaxed. 3 and 2 and 1. Hold the leg hovering. Find internal rotation, toes looking up to the ceiling. Hi, baby. We lift and lower. We lift. And I guarantee you, everybody watching right now, after this, he's going to go under the bed and just ignore me for the next few hours. He needs attention right now. Anybody else? Anybody else out there? For 3 and 2 and 1. Beautiful. Go ahead and lower down. Holy cannoli. All right, grab your ball. We're gonna stay on these same springs, okay? I want you to now lie on your back. Okay, however you wish to do this. We're gonna place our feet into the straps. Ball is gonna go in between the ankles. All right, so feet into the straps. The straps are like at the base of your arches, and then the ball is gonna go between your ankles or your heels. Let's go heels, I lie. Arms are long down by your side here. Your tailbone is heavy. You're back to that neutral spine. And now lift the legs up to your 90 degrees, right? That means tailbone heavy. And then lower the legs back down to your working angle. That means where we can hold that stable spine. Legs float up. It's a hinge at the hip. Push into the strap to lower the legs down. And you're just holding that ball. So imagine it not getting any smaller, any bigger throughout this lower end lift. This is just in case we did not hit those inner thighs on that last little exercise. Good. Now go ahead and lower the legs down to that challenging working angle. Okay, so bring yourself out there and hold here. Could you sink the base of the ribs down just a little bit more, but could you also lower the legs down just a little bit more? It might be half an inch. It might be the thought of it, right? And now I want you to squeeze in on that ball. Little pulses here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the hug in on the ball and keep parallel. Bend your knees in towards your body, booty stays heavy, and then press the legs back out. Only 3 more here. Knees bend in on your exhale. Inhale, press the legs back out. Knees bend in on the exhale, and then inhale back out. Last one here. I think I counted that right. Not sure, y'all. Press it back out. All right, now bend the knees back in. So I guess it was like 3.5. Take the ball away. Send the legs up to your 90. And now open the legs out wide. And then hold here in this straddle stretch. I want you to actively push the legs wide and down, so much that you might even feel the sides of your booties kick on. And now the legs lower, they circle around, meet down at the bottom, and then lift up. Find your side butt cheeks. They push wide. They lower down, circle around, find that low working angle, and then back up. A lot of times we just let our legs fall out to the side, and it's not an active movement with our muscles. Last one here. Legs come up to 90, and now we reverse. They lower down through center, open out wide, and then back up. So outer hips working to open the legs, inner thighs working to bring the legs together. I can't tell you how many years I did this, and I just let the springs do the work, and they just feel so different when you just, again, focus, right? What am I actually doing here? Where is this coming from? But it takes time. Last circle. Awesome. Hold here at the top, right? You're at your 90 again. Booty is heavy. Carefully and slowly bend your right knee and just let that stretch kind of go down the back of your left leg. So your right leg is almost guiding that deeper stretch. And now straighten your right leg. Bend your left knee a little bit. And then straighten both legs. Bend your knees in. Go ahead and take the straps off. Hang up the straps. Let's roll you up. Grab your ball one last time. We're gonna come kneeling on the carriage. Hook your feet around, take the ball in between your thighs. Okay, so you are trying to break your ball right now. Reach down, grab onto your long loops. Okay, it's a nice heavy spring, so just be aware of that. I'm gonna think of dropping my tailbone down and my pubic bone going forward, okay? And again, break the ball. Feel stable in your lower half right now. Arms are straight, pull the arms down and back and pause. Hold. Pull those collarbones apart a little bit more. Turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left, and then come back to center, and then slowly release the arms. Again, pull the arms down and back. Hips are forward. Turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right, and then turn your head to center, and then slowly release the arms. I want you to now sit your hips back. Place a light spring on. I'm placing a blue spring on for balanced body. Walk the knees forward, little penguin walk forward. You're still trying to break the ball, but your knees are up against the shoulder box, okay? Choke up for your thigh stretch. So push down through your shins and the tops of your feet. Hips are forward, find your long line. Arms stay straight. Hinge your body back, 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 and then lift yourself back up. Do not lose tension on the ball. Inhale takes you back, and then exhale lifts you back up. You have got to keep pushing into your shins here. Super, super important. And then lift back up. If you want to find extension for these last two, you are more than welcome, but stay connected to your seat. Make this more about upper back extension. And then exhale, nod your chin to come out of it. Last one here. You go to where you can. Puff up that chest, roll the chest open. And then exhale, nod the chin and roll yourself out of it. Come all the way up, hang up your straps, and you are done. I so appreciate you being here today. I hope you felt things. If you are enjoying this content, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, y'all.